This series tends to be, at least in the public mind, Air Jordan against the Magic Man.
There's no question, you're not going to avoid the Magic Michael thing.
Well, they're calling it the Dream Series, Magic versus Michael. I know that the whole team's involved, but that's the way it's going to be played. You can blame LA for this, right?
Well, it's a big media hype. We know that, and it's very important for me as a player, and one of the main focal points is to not take away from the team.
As the Bulls prepared to meet the Lakers in the finals, they would have to weather an unprecedented media barrage.
No, I don't see myself getting into butterflies.
Oh, I have butterflies now.
It won't bother me. I mean, this is a chance of a lifetime.
Page 2 is first, Andy.
Stand by the pin on 7. South to 5.
Beat LA!
Bulls t-shirt! Yeah, who's next here?
All the way.
Get the wrong graphics up there to recycle. Go Silver.
You are looking at Chicago Stadium, and they are basketball crazy here in Chicago as we approach the start of the NBA Championship Series. What time is it?
The keyed-up Bulls charged into their first final with raw emotion and raw nerve.
Michael lost the handle on the dribble to Devon. Cartwright backs in, left baseline, turnaround jumper, air ball.
But while Chicago struggled to shake their opening jitters, the more experienced Lakers looked to take quick advantage. As Magic Johnson calmly directed their methodical attack,
6:50 to go in the first period. Great inside pass entry from Magic to Worthy, who lays it in off the window.
Dictating the tempo, the Lakers seized control early and had the normally high-octane Bulls stuck in neutral.
Now we got to go out first stop this time and start playing basketball. Now get your confidence back. Be aggressive.
Get up! Get up! Scotty on the move, now to Jordan, in for the right, for the
Taking their cue from Jordan, the Bulls were finally off and running, forcing the Lakers into transition and storming back into the game.
3 on 2. Pippen. Oh, what a move by Scotty Pippen.
With their lead cut to 1, the Lakers would again look to Magic, who would provide not one answer,
Shot, scores!
but 2.
All right, Magic fires a 3. Good! Magic Johnson has taken over with 2 3-pointers in the last minute and a half of the third period.
A weary Jordan would again look to respond, but he would not do it alone.
Don't leave Michael alone here. It's not time yet. Right. You guys are running away from your offense. Don't run away from your offense.
Chicago would once again rally around Jordan.
stolen by Armstrong, ahead to Jordan, back to Armstrong, now to Michael for the finish.
Good play, BJ, spectacular.
With the Lakers' lead having all but vanished, both teams braced for a furious finish.
Magic is saying, calm down, calm down.
Magic with the spin. The pass off the dribble of Devons. What a play. Magic Johnson.
Jordan guarded by Scott. Jordan turns in the lane, gets the shot up. Good yes! Scott.
And the Bulls come out of there with it. Jordan wants to run down the left side, pull up jumper. Goal!
We got the lead. Right. They got to score. Make them shoot a jump shot to beat us. Right.
Oh boy, this is what coaches get paid for.
And Perkins goes for three. He's got it. He went for the shot from downtown to take the lead.
All right, here we go. One in time. Michael, if they all run at you, remember Scotty's right here. Bill's right here. Max back to him. 9 seconds, a lot of time. Pass me the aspirin bottle. Get the oxygen tent ready. This is unbelievable.
Bulls down by 1. 9 seconds to play. They lob it over the top to Jordan. Jordan gets it. Changes direction. Pull up jumper left side.
Come on, baby, ball. Get it out, get it out.
Get it out. Ball knocked loose. Grabbed by the Lakers.
Chicago Bulls.
It felt good. It rattled and it came out.
I just knew Michael's shot was going in. When I seen it, it was on target, it was up high enough. I was like, this is it. It rattled in and rattled out. I was like, oh my gosh.
A lot of distractions. We're going to have to, something LA's gone through and learned, had to deal with before. We haven't had to do that. We're going to have to learn in a hurry. We're going to win the series.
There's no question about it. This is singularly the biggest game in the 25-year NBA history of the Bulls franchise.
We felt like we were unbeatable, but, they proved us wrong, and now we got to go back to the drawing board and come up with something new.
Los Angeles Lakers are in the catbird seat after lifting the home court advantage from the Bulls. You get to this point, and they will drown you, flat drown you.
You go down like you live tonight, okay? Take this game, let's wrestle it out of their grasp and go to LA.
Let's go!
All right?
Only two teams have ever lost the first two games of the finals and come back to win a championship.
Well, we know we got to win. I don't think we should panic, because when you panic, you really don't play your best basketball.
We've been in a situation a lot. We just about know what we have to do in those situations. So we're used to it.
The Chicago Bulls admit that this is the biggest game of their basketball life.
They felt they had that time because we were nervous. We lost our composure, and they thought that the nervousness and the tentativeness would have been there again, but it wasn't.
Led by a determined Michael Jordan, the Bulls would serve notice early that Game 1 was already a distant memory.
Michael Jordan just kind of running the show, distributing the basketball.
What a pass from Jordan.
Jordan's biggest beneficiary was a resurgent Horace Grant, who poured in 10 first-quarter points.
Here's Grant.
I got embarrassed in the first game, and I just took it upon myself to take it to him in the next game.
The Bulls had turned their game up a notch, but the Lakers would not be easily shaken.
Perkins easily around Purdue, and he served up a facial.
And although the Bulls' offense was in high gear, the complexion of the game was about to change.
And that is number 3 on Jordan.
As the Bulls found their best defender in foul trouble, Chicago would need someone to step to the forefront.
Here's Magic with the basketball. Scotty at the top, and we're taking Magic out of the ball. Got it?
The daunting task of containing the Lakers' living legend now fell upon Scottie Pippen.
To have the opportunity to play against a guy like Magic, someone that I always idolized and watched, I felt like that I had to step up and put all that behind and go up and do my best.
Notice the matchup with Pippen on Magic, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, able to bump, be physical with Magic.
Pippen's smothering defense on Magic grounded the Laker attack. While the Bulls could now set their sights on ruling the airwaves.
Jordan with the step and the bucket. Michael Jordan on fire. Jordan. Yes. The Bulls have exploded.
Trolling an alley-oop pass underneath the...
Oh, it's good! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Under pressure, right corner Paxson. He comes up shooting and...
Oh, Johnny!
Here's Pippen. The Bulls blowing the Lakers out.
Led by an unconscious Jordan, Chicago exploded, showcasing a little bit of everything and then some.
Spectacular move by Michael Jordan. That's 13 consecutive field goals.
Cliff threw it back to me, and I saw a clear lane to the basket, so I was going to dunk the ball. I exposed the ball, but then I saw long-arm Sam Perkins there, and it was just instincts to change it. And I changed it to my left hand and was able to get it off.
When he came down the lane, he just, went one way, put it in one hand, floated about a 5 more yards, said, well, I don't know, and then he went off against the glass. So it was his game tonight. He really took it over in the second half. The only thing is, no matter if you get beat by 1 or 20, it's still 1-1.
The Lakers' confidence seemed well-founded as they returned home to their enchanted domain, for Game 3.
It doesn't get any better than this. This is the Magic Kingdom, California.
History had not been kind to the visiting Bulls, who had never won a playoff game in this Forum of Champions.
If you're not nervous before a game, there's something wrong with you.
Despite their previous failing, Chicago ignored the pressure.
Let's go, baby. It's our game right here, baby. Come on, man.
As the game began, both teams traded shots.
Come on.
And in this pivotal contest, Chicago knew that the heavy artillery would soon begin their assault.
If we want it, we're going to have to take it. It's not going to be given to us. We have to get up on them and pressure them and make them work for everything they get.
But in this physical struggle, neither team was giving ground. Though the Bulls would manage to cling to a one-point lead going into the half, they would once again find themselves in foul trouble and in need of an adjustment.
Good first half here at the Forum.
We felt like they had too much vision on the court. They were too aware and too knowledgeable players to be able to give them that much time and vision. And with foul trouble on Michael, we had to make the move. With Scotty on Magic, and we wanted to make him have to use up time on the clock.
The strategy that had befuddled LA in Game 2 now played into their hands, as the prepared Lakers quickly pounded the ball inside to Divac, who ignited an 18-2 third-quarter run.
Low to Vlade. Vlade against Jordan again. Down the middle, he gives to Worthy. Worthy gives to Perkins. Slam dunk!
The Lakers would build a commanding 13-point lead, while the Bulls searched for answers.
I like Vlade's patience.
I was wondering when Phil was going to put me in. I just sat there and waited my turn and just, I said, well, when I get in, I got to make something happen.
Cliff, if he doesn't have it, you got to step up.
Cliff Livingston would answer the call, sparking Chicago with his contagious intensity as the emotionally charged Bulls willed their way back into the game.
Checked it emphatically by Livingston. Beautiful look away. Jordan from Pippen.
The momentum had shifted.
And now it's Mike Dunleavy burning a timeout. 8:42 left in the fourth.
For nearly 4 quarters, the two teams had been locked in an epic showdown. And as the game hung in the balance, the role of hero had yet to be cast.
Now, we're fine if we communicate defensively down there in the corner series. He's got to watch Divac reach it. Got to get out.
It's our game right here, baby. Come on, man.
Tired.
In the game's final seconds, Vlade Divac would seemingly stumble into stardom.
For the game winner. Divac fumbled it, recovered. Yes, and it counts.
Divac's dramatic three-point play would give LA a 2-point lead.
Oh, no. 93!
And Scottie Pippen a 6th foul. It was now Michael Jordan's turn to take center stage and to seek redemption.
One right down to the second. And the Bulls were unable to score in game 1 in the closing seconds to avoid defeat. But they're going to take it the end. They're going to take it the end of the court all the way. They have no timeouts left. Full court press. Jordan against Byron Scott. Going to the lane, comes up shooting, got it. Game tied with 3.4 left.
The Bulls would share Jordan's redemption.
When he shot, it was like, we're winning this. We went overtime, we're winning this. And there was no doubt about it.
The Bulls had withstood the Lakers' charge.
Oh,
foul call
Michael comes away with it. Cliff Levingston took the charge, and there was no foul call. Paxson's shot from the left is in.
The Lakers had experience and the home court on their side.
Michael spins out.
But the Bulls had Michael Jordan.
In a spectacular play by Jordan.
This is a bitter loss for the Lakers because early.
And the series lead.
Well, on that point, let's go downstairs. Mike Dunleavy, the Lakers coach, is breaking it down.
Well, we're in a ditch. Not in a hole, we're in a ditch.
Supposedly, according to some of the coaches, they were out, they practiced for a solid hour and a half on the floor. We play them, we squeeze them a little bit, make them work extra hard. If things don't work out, communicate with each other out there on the floor.
We'd have to be ready for this storm because these guys are too good to be let off the hook.
The Lakers' storm was swift and coming.
Here's Worthy. Yes.
But the Bulls were prepared for its fury. For the Lakers, victory was essential, and their aggressiveness echoed the vital nature of their quest.
Rebound AC again. Oh, is he playing his game today?
Rebounder, stay after that ball. We got to stay with it.
The Bulls were equally determined as they fervently banged the boards.
Rebound inside though by Livingston. Scores!
And as they stepped up their intensity, the Lakers' storm began to end.
Scott Williams now with it. Craig Hodges driving into the front court. On ahead to Jordan. He scoops it up. Rimming. Takes him in the lane. Fadeaway jumper. Bill Cartwright hits it.
Here goes Jordan to Grant. Back to Jordan. He takes the last shot of the half and he hits it.
Up by 9 at the half, the Bulls remained focused.
If you get them down, you want to keep them down.
Let's go get him, bro.
We're not satisfied yet.
The assault came quickly. And from every conceivable angle, as Chicago's offensive barrage kept the Lakers at bay.
John Paxson has been a crusher.
Though there was still some magic in the air, as LA narrowed the gap.
Important sequence for the Lakers. Magic, yes!
Johnson's bag of tricks could not prevent another Bulls run.
Right for the rebound. Quick out of the pass down court. Michael to Pippen who jams!
They're on the verge of giving up, boys. Just keep right at it.
They're having a hard time building the energy.
We don't have any.
The attack was unrelenting. And suddenly, Chicago was within one game of the NBA championship.
You know, the thing about it is that I can't feel bad because they just giving us a nice butt kicking.
With a title on the horizon, the Bulls were reflective.
You know, you've worked all this time to achieve the goal, and I think that when you first get in the league, all your goals are more individual.
Let's go. We gotta go out like style, baby.
As you've been in the league a little longer, you understand that the most important thing is the team, and your credibility is measured by your team's success. And winning the NBA championship is obviously the ultimate.
Let's go. That's what we work for all season long, guys. Let's take it home. Let's do it. You ready?
I got a lot of excitement inside of me. I guess I've been holding for about 7 years now. I think when I first came with the Bulls, it was a struggle. And we had to turn the whole situation around. Each year we saw improvement. We saw the different levels that we had to get to, and now to this ultimate level.
After 25 years, this is the game that Bulls fans have been looking for. Let's go, Bulls! Take it home! The Bulls with a chance to wrap up the World Championship tonight.
Good work, man. We've been waiting for this. That's good work, all right? Let's go. 48 minutes.
Even with James Worthy and Byron Scott sidelined, the Lakers quickly showed that they were not going to simply step aside for the Bulls' coronation.
Here's Magic. He had a notion to go to the hoop. He bumped.
But as they had all series long, the Bulls were quick to respond.
Llevamos with a bounce pass in Jordan. The steal, tight ropes the sideline, all the way to the hoop for the dunk. Even the fans here wanted that one.
Lonnie Divac in the face of John Paxson.
The Lakers' frustration was clear as the Bulls began to pull away.
Oh, what a shot by Bill Conrad.
There's a steal. Michael on the breakaway. Showtime as he skies into the air. And Air Jordan throws it down.
You're getting a fair shake. Just stay in here. You never know.
Searching for an answer, L.A. looked to its young bench.
Ellen Campbell with a two-handed monster jam.
But the Bulls wouldn't even break stride.
Oh, what a move by Michael Jordan. And here come the Bulls on a 3-on-2. Pippen off the hesitation dribble. A spectacular end-to-end move.
With an intensity born of desperation, the Lakers would make one final run.
Takes the return pass and tomahawk jams it through. And the crowd goes nuts here at the Forum just when it looked like the Bulls might blow out the Lakers. LA comes back with a 6-point run and they take the lead.
But Chicago's confidence was unshakable.
Tighten up. That's the term. Just tighten up a little bit. Not, all right? Not too hard. Loosen up.
It was time for the Bulls to bring their championship journey to an end. The Lakers could only helplessly watch as Chicago soared past them.
Pippen down court, throws it down.
When we run like that, it's hard for any team to beat us.
The goal for which Chicago had worked so long was finally within their grasp. And as they reached for it, they also touched something within themselves.
It's not the financial rewards, but it's those minutes that we spend together in very critical times, in very pressured times on the floor and sometimes in the locker room, in which guys are of one mind and they are one effort. That is really the wonderful thing about ball.
They had grown up together. And as John Paxson brought their season to a close, they knew that they had become a part of history, a part of a team, part of each other.
Each player understands what his role is. It's all a process of being together and understanding each other and enjoying playing with everyone. This group, we have a great bond between us.
Start to say the words, folks. The world champion Chicago Bulls. World champ, baby. Hey, excuse me. This is what dreams are made of.
Final seconds, Magic's three-point attempt blocked. Pippen comes away with it. And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
The Bulls trying to do what few have done before, and that is repeat.
Let's go, boys. Go, man.
The Trailblazers on a mission, trying to prove that they belong.
The world has been waiting 2 years for this matchup. The feeling that we have right now is like bungee jumping, standing on that tower, standing on that bridge.
It's all about, baby. Let's play.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Do you have any questions at all? Just play the game. We'll referee. Have a good game, guys. Have a good series.
Having completed their arduous journey through the playoffs, the Bulls entered the finals with a feeling of relief.
Jordan baseline jump pass. Pippen with a slam game.
Go deep. Take a seat. I got it.
But with Terry Porter starting them off, it was the Blazers who broke quickly from the gate.
Lost the dribble off his foot. 3-on-2 for the Blazers. Drexler all the way. So Portland beginning to fly all over the court. Porter with the open shot. And the Blazers have hit their first 7 field goal attempts.
You haven't got his rhythm yet for offense. You got to keep pushing to find your rhythm.
Chicago would find its rhythm in the person of Michael Jordan, who was about to answer the Blazers' hot shooting and much more.
Jordan with the steal, eluding Ainge. Yes.
Don't hold him, Clyde. Let's go, babe.
Now Jordan posting up. Goes to the fadeaway. Through the foul. It counts. Jordan eluding Robinson. Yes.
Oh, he is on fire.
Unleashing a new weapon from his arsenal, Jordan single-handedly took over the game.
Jordan for 3 more. Hits.
Boy, when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. And that young fella is hot.
Come on, let's go now. Come on, we need a spurt here. We got to defend them. Let's go. We got to get back and defend them. We got to get good shots out here.
Despite the Blazers' plans, on this night, no defense in the world could have halted the aerial barrage to come.
Jordan for 3. He is hot. Woo! Well, Michael has gone to a new weapon.
Jordan would drill 6 three-pointers and drive a stake into the Blazers' hearts.
Pippen, 2 men to beat. Drives to the basket. Oh, Michael Jordan! Jordan with his magic carpet threw it down. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's in a frenzy here. And a Jordan fires another three. Oh, no! I don't believe it. 3-pointers from Jordan. What in the world is going on?
There's Jordan for 3. Yes! Did you see that look? Michael indicating he can't believe it.
He feels it. There's nothing else he can say other than the man feels it and lets us know.
This is the greatest performance maybe ever in the single half, playoff, or in the history of this league.
Chicago fans had witnessed one of playoff history's most spectacular performances, and the second half would be merely a curtain call.
He wants to run. 4-on-2 break. He leads Horace Grant with a slam jam. What a start for the defending world champions of the NBA.
As the Bulls completed the romp, the story of the night was, of course, Michael Jordan.
I started running for that three-point line. I felt a great rhythm. It felt like a free throw, really, from that distance.
The only thing you could just sit back and say, ah, and wow, and woo, just like a little kid out there, everything he threw up, he hit.
He was hot, and we all knew it. He knew it, and he just was going to go out there. I don't think he was going to miss from 2, from 3, or from half court range. He just had that feeling.
There's a lot of series where a game goes like this the first game, the second game's totally different. It better be different. I know we're better than this, believe me.
Entering Game 2, the Trailblazers optimistically hoped for a new beginning, and their strategy was apparent. Every time Jordan had the ball, he would find himself surrounded by Blazers. An emotionally charged Portland team tried to overwhelm Chicago with sheer hustle.
Up the long jumper, air balls it wide right. Drexler dives on the end, and Buck Williams scores. And that may be the wake-up call for the Blazers. Deflected away again, and a tip and a script at midcourt. Picked back up by Portland down court. Drexler over. Bill Cartwright with a thunder slam. And suddenly, Portland showing more muscle than they have in the past.
You got to get the ball moving. We're standing around taking looks. Get that ball moving. Not making them work hard enough on defense.
To ignite their sputtering offense, Jordan began to set up his teammates. Coolly picking apart Portland's defense.
Cross-court pass, backs it open for 3. Get it again! Get it again! Jordan just holding the ball, dribbling with the right hand. signaling with the left, starts his move. Wheels in the right corner. Henson fires a three and scores! Bobby Henson of all people buries a three. That's the end of the third period. It's a Bulls 77, Portland 70.
The fourth quarter would see Jordan begin to look for his own shot. And as they stretched their lead to 10, the Bulls seemed to have everything going their way.
Now there's a steal by Pippen, foul in the backcourt. And if it's on Drexler, that's 6. It is. Titus fouled out.
It just gets worse and worse for the Trailblazers.
Nothing in my mind told me that this team would be able to stay with us without a leader like Clyde Drexler. It was just right there saying, you guys are going to win this game, just finish it.
But finishing the Blazers would prove to be more difficult than it seemed.
Foul call of MJ, and it's 4 on Michael.
23 in the back.
Oh, Jess Kersey just called a technical on Michael Jordan.
That was not a true statement, but you were talking about me, and I don't talk about you.
Jordan's temper had flared, but it was Portland that would catch fire.
Gotta have your
Playing with renewed passion, Portland charged back into the game, and the stunned Bulls could only sit by and watch.
With the scoop. Oh, boys. He's beating Kersey, and they tied the game.
And the air suddenly has gone out of this sellout crowd at the Chicago Stadium.
Having squandered their lead, the Bulls again looked to Jordan.
Underneath, Jordan, hangs, scoops, no!
Oh, he was facing the other way. He was facing the opponent's basket. Here is Butler. Yes! He's tied the game at 97.
All right, here we go. It's down to this. 13 and 2/10 seconds to play. Michael, one-on-one. He takes the move, stutter step move, pull-up jumper. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Portland. We're out of time. Overtime in Chicago.
The seemingly impossible had happened. The Bulls had lost control of the game, and even in overtime, they could not get it back. With Danny Ainge leading the way, Portland would steal the game and the precious home court advantage.
Ainge moves, gives cross-court back to Terry, cracks a three from the left side, and scored! And that might be a backbreaker with a minute and a half to go. Suddenly, it's Portland by 6. Way to go, baby!
Oh, what a pass from Porter, finding Ainge. And the Portland Trailblazers with a dramatic come-from-behind effort.
It's a great game. We had every opportunity to win it, and I'm sure we're going to look back and rue this a little bit tonight.
I think they gained a little bit momentum from the technical foul that I received, and that from that point on, it just kind of went downhill.
This one was just a little hard to take because, we just really gave it away.
After Friday's stirring come-from-behind overtime win, Portland has achieved what most experts said they needed to: split the first two in Chicago and come home even.
Big concern by many people, Bulls' ability to bounce back after the devastating loss in game number 2. Did they have enough time to get themselves straightened out?
The Blazers gonna smoke those Bulls! The Portland Trailblazers are 8-0 in this building in the playoffs.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or Sybil or whatever, boy, you just don't know which Bulls team is going to show up for which game.
It's not going to be the guy who scores the most points going to win this series. It's the team that's going to win the series. The best team is going to win the series. The best team is us.
I look for Portland to win the next game easily, Joe.
We built a circle around ourselves and said, we're going to stay in this circle, and no matter what goes on outside of this circle, we're not concerned with it. It was our time to really go out and shine and open up this series the way we should have did, the way we wanted to do.
Let's take care of business. Let's go.
Entering Portland's den, Chicago was all business, and building an early lead, they quickly showed the Blazers that Game 2 was only a memory.
Jordan, dragged by Fox area this side, turn around, puts it up, he hits.
Paxson, yes! John Paxson shot the ball very well. Started that in. Get back in. Possession by possession now. Come on now.
Raising their intensity, the Blazers made a statement of their own.
Kersey, corner, Drexler up the middle, he does! Rips! the crowd going. Drexler goes in low on the block to Duckworth. He bumps and bangs. Drop steps on Cartwright. Put it in. And good. Hogan. It's settled in. Oh, my.
With both teams having made their run, the Bulls held a narrow lead. Now the game would settle into a shifting struggle of competing strategies.
Post up! Don't stand out here and watch it! Cut through it! Get some activity going!
Left side, Kersey whips it baseline. Drexler open for the hanging jam.
Get your hands out and get ready for an interception.
Back to Porter. Shovel pass to Robinson. One step to the left. He lost it on the way up. Stolen away by Pippen. Pippen on a break. 3-on-2.
Oh, my.
Scored.
That's the Pippen that they've been waiting for.
Let's run the floor. Come on.
And Duckworth off the board. Here's Porter leading Drexler. Wide open basketball.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to be a threat.
You're rotating.
All right? I'm in the post. I'm in the post.
The lead is 11. Paxson out front, spins away from Porter on the dribble drive. Gives to Michael Jordan, posting up on the right side. Jump shot at Drexler's face, and he scored.
With less than a quarter to go, the Bulls held grimly to the lead. But the inevitable Portland run was still to come.
Now the Blazers trying to poise themselves to make a run. And the crowd comes pumping back to life.
Because of the comeback made by the Blazers in Game 2, the Bulls know this team can come back.
Over to Ainge. Ainge fakes a three-pointer, gets to the foul line, puts it up, drills it with the right hand. Danny
off the front of the rim. Rebound, Williams, long late pass to Drexler. Now to Kersey, who fumbles, gets it back, and lays it in with a reverse layup.
Chicago wants to talk about it.
Boy, this is a carbon copy of Game 2.
Here they come.
You're rotating.
All right? So you got to hold off in here. They're going to let them beat the hell out of you, so you might as well get used to it and just be strong.
With this crucial game on the line, the Bulls looked for strength inside themselves and each other. This time there would be no letdown. They were ready.
Here's Duckworth, blocked by Grant. Fakes right, drives left, rolls it up for a walk.
Drexler on a move against Pippen to the baseline, runs into him, offensive foul on Drexler.
Jordan dribbling down the clock underneath. Horace Grant wide open, slams it down.
To Michael, he shifts gears down the lane, ducks in, layup, got it. Jordan ducking inside.
Ainge cross-court bounce pass, stolen by Paxson away from Porter. And Paxson lays it in. And this one is all but over in Portland. And the crowd heads to the parking lot here in the City of Roses.
The Chicago Bulls going up 2-1 in this best of 7.
As they prepared for Game 4, the Bulls were once again feeling relaxed and loose. The pressure was now on Portland, and Chicago could breathe a welcome sigh of relief.
That's bad sound. That's bad sound. Clang.
Remember what your mindset is for this next game coming up. Rest and recuperation.
All right.
Game 4, let's go!
Cruising to an early lead, the Bulls maintained their upbeat mood.
Yes! 3-on-2, Pippen with the change of pace.
Yeah! Blow him out! Blow him out!
Scoring at will against the reeling Blazers, the Bulls looked to end the contest early.
And the Bulls really putting it on the Trailblazers in the early going.
But what had started as confidence began to turn to carelessness.
Let's go, fellas!
Unable to recapture their rhythm, the Bulls were suddenly struggling.
Well, that was un-Jordan-esque because Michael Jordan's tired, Joe. There's no question about it.
With fatigue setting in, the Bulls' grip on the game was loosening, and the Blazers began to smell blood.
Overplayed, goes in low to Scott Williams, got around Cliff Robinson, and is fouled hard. Pushed him.
That is a personal foul on number 3. That is a flagrant foul, penalty 1 on 25.
Jerome Kersey's dramatic foul brought the Blazers to a frenzied pitch. and the Bulls began to get a nightmarish feeling of deja vu.
Blazers executing flawlessly now, and the Bulls had a sink. Underneath, Horace goes up, blocked by Cliff Robinson, and Robinson tears it out of there. Great defensive play by Robinson.
And the Bulls have become unraveled here.
Michael Jordan thought he had tied him.
You get in the championship round, and you're playing over 100 games in 8.5 months. It's a grind. I don't know how to explain it. We've tried to put a team away, we haven't been able to do it.
I don't think they can get their bodies to do it because their minds are not telling their bodies, and the mind, Joe, controls the body.
The biggest challenge that we had was within ourselves, fighting with ourselves to try to maintain that edge, and that's been the case, basically. We've been fighting with ourselves.
3-on-2. Porter gave it back. Drexler.
Winning time. It's usually Jordan time, but it hasn't been tonight.
So the Trailblazers tying the series at 2.
Well, we had that game in hand and let it slip. That's the way we feel about it tonight, that we let a great opportunity pass us by.
That's what it is. That's what all over to say, it's the game they gave away. But they let them keep giving these games away, we'll take them.
We found out in this playoff that it's been a roller coaster, one game up, one game down. But this team has never lacked confidence. That's been a mark of this team, being able to bounce back when a little adversity has hit us.
Pippen, quick drop, step around, Porter slam jam. And now Michael fires a three and scores.
Pippen with the snap and the bucket. Beautiful move. Here's Jordan on the pull-up. Yes.
Ball batted up in the air, stolen by Pippen. Pippen brings it down 2-1. Jordan on the right wing. Pippen and jams over Drexler.
Everything's working for Chicago.
With Pippen and Jordan leading the way, the Bulls began Game 5 as if every possession was their last.
Jackson, yes! Jordan setting up Conrad, yes! Oh, what a rejection! Yeah, boy! Blazers on the move, Drexler, he turned it over.
Blazers in the early going look unsettled.
A technical foul called on Buck Williams.
Keep his mouth shut! You stop talking! Don't you stop talking!
Portland's fans could only watch in despair as the Bulls dismantled the Blazers.
Side fadeaway jumper, he scores!
Oh, Michael turned an ankle, slipped.
But Chicago would face some anguish of their own.
The franchise is sitting down on the bench holding his left ankle.
Bill Jackson better talk about this.
Get yourself under control, both of you. We need you.
And Chicago going through a little bit of a gut check right now.
But even with their leader sidelined, the Bulls refused to falter. In this game, Chicago would not give Portland any second chances. Portland was helpless before Chicago's onslaught, and it only got worse.
Here comes Jordan back in, still favoring that ankle, but he's going to play some more. Wheels it out back to Jordan. Michael fires a three. He was open. He buries it.
A dagger! A dagger!
With Jordan providing the finishing touch, the Bulls' triumph was complete. They had regained control of the series.
Take it back to the city!
And they were going home.
And the defending world champions are one victory away from making it 2 NBA titles in a row. This is the 104th game of the year for the Bulls, including the playoffs and regular season. That's a long, long haul, and it could all end here this afternoon.
As they approached Game 6, the Bulls looked to become the first Chicago team in almost 30 years to win a championship at home, to become only the 4th NBA franchise to win back-to-back titles, and to end a personal quest that had tested their spirit and their will.
Last year was a honeymoon. It was a kiss of the beloved almost. This year's
has been an odyssey. It's been a journey filled with travail and pitfalls, and it's been tough. It's been a real hard road.
And as the game began, it quickly became clear that once again, Chicago would be traveling on treacherous terrain.
Pass stolen by Porter. 2-on-1, out of Drexler. Drexler slams it to the left side.
Fighting for their playoff lives, the Blazers came out determined not to let Chicago celebrate at their expense.
This is Portland's brand of basketball. They have the tempo going in their direction.
And it's all happened because of their hard work.
Here's a steal by Jerome. Mercy, he's been everywhere.
Jerome Kersey with a magnificent first quarter, and he has really hurt the Bulls.
Kersey had ignited the Blazers, while the Bulls struggled to find their own spark.
Boys, let's go! Come on now!
Now Jordan starts to walk the dribble to the right side. Drexler reached out to push him. Jordan drives to the basket. Double pump, lays it up short. No good. Ball knocked out of bounds by Michael. Paxson goes inside the Cartwright on a bounce pass. High post right. He pumps. Wheels in on Duckworth. Forgot the ball.
Joe, Chicago is in disarray. They're not...
Paxson down inside to Michael Jordan, overplayed, tipped by Drexler to Porter, down the right side to Clyde Drexler, gives to Kersey for a freewheeling slam jam.
Chicago has to really be careful, Joe, that they don't dig too big a hole here.
With over half the game behind them, the Bulls found the hole deepening, and the Blazers were getting ready to bury them.
Hard foul! He is taken up.
Blazers right now just hammering the Bulls into submission.
Blazers with their biggest lead of the night.
Two teams, and you basically at some point in the third quarter knows which team is going to win. I don't care what kind of heroics they might have in mind. I don't think Chicago can pull this one out. I really don't.
Where Jordan gets it. Michael on Kersey and Porter blocked underneath by Drexler.
Wide Drexler blocks the shot attempted by Michael Jordan.
Game 7, if necessary, will be played right here Wednesday night in Chicago. At this point, it certainly appears it will be necessary.
Once again, Chicago faced the prospect of letting a pivotal game slip away. In just 12 minutes, the series would be tied, and the weary Bulls' championship fate would be at the mercy of a single game. They knew that the time was now, and as they had all season long, they would find strength when they needed it most.
When we've been put down, we've always responded well, and when we're down, we're at our best because we have an understanding on our team that in order for us to win, we need each other.
Chicago down by 15, start of the fourth period.
Look at Chicago's lineup. Second team with the exception of Pippen.
Left corner, Hanson fires a three and scores!
Bobby Hanson, that's one reason he's in there. Kersey dropped the ball, got it again, and Hanson strips him of the ball. Gets it to King. King coming in, and he's annihilated inside.
The Bulls asking for a flagrant foul.
The referee has called a flagrant foul. They'll shoot these free throws and get the ball out of bounds on the side.
Pippen backs in on Drexler. Turns, double, triple team, spins through it and lays it in.
Oh, that was an unbelievable shot.
So the Bulls have come out roaring at the start of the fourth, and are doing it without Michael Jordan on the floor.
You got into the situation where you got some momentum going now. Just keep playing hard.
Low to Pippen, who's posted up on Drexler. Spins to the baseline, puts it up and in.
The crowd is going nuts. Right now, Chicago on a 10-2 run. Drexler double dribbled the ball. Pippen bothered him.
BJ in the paint, fumbles, gets it back, turns, shoots, scores! The lead is down to 5. Not back to BJ on the right side, down low to Stacey King. King backs in, knocks down Buck Williams, turns, shoots, scores!
Do you believe this? Chicago in the midst of a 14-2 run.
And Jordan re-enters the fray.
Having all but erased the Blazers' lead, the Bulls were on the verge of completing one of the greatest comebacks in finals history.
It's Drexler, foot fake, starts to move, beats Clyde inside, floats up a floater and scores! It's a one-point ball game. Michael Jordan!
The championship trophy was almost in their grasp, and fittingly, Pippen and Jordan would help them reach out and grab it.
Superman back in the building! Superman is back in the building!
putting the Blazers behind them, the Bulls brought their long championship journey to an end.
Feel it, they can smell it right now. They're seconds away from winning back-to-back world championships.
Their second title run had been even more demanding than the first, and now they could finally enjoy it.
Time running down, the Chicago Bulls have won the NBA championship for the second straight season.
And let the celebration begin here in the Windy City.
Chicago Stadium is going wild, as you can imagine.
The Bulls have repeated.
Let the party begin.
One is great, two is almost impossible. Congratulations, Chicago.
Just the happiest moment in many years. Oh, it feels so good. Come on.
Welcome to the NBA Finals. In the case of the Chicago Bulls, it's welcome back. For the third year in a row, they seek, as you know, to become only the third team to win 3 NBA championships in succession.
Each year is a different experience. The first time you're thrilled to be there because you've never been there before and everything's new. Last year we were just on a mission, and this year you have the chance to make history. You stay focused on that and you don't get too overwhelmed by the whole situation.
And the Bulls wasted little time in putting their businesslike approach to good use.
Start right, bounce back to Michael. He stops, fires, banker good.
Get open shots against New York like this.
Playing with ruthless efficiency.
Charles backs into the lane. Rejected by Scott Williams.
They outmaneuvered the Suns on both ends of the court.
The Bulls executing beautifully.
Jay lost it on the dribble. Dumas gets it back. He picked it off by Pippen. Ahead to Jordan. Jordan on a breakaway. And there's a highlight reel as he jammed it in.
The Suns looking shaky here in the early going.
Stolen by Cartwright. Goes up on a hook and scores.
Phoenix will talk it over.
Get up on top, play some defense. Let's get some steals.
Well, the Suns definitely need to make a run here.
Jordan spins away on Marley. He'll take it all the way to the basket and drops it in. Oh, what an explosive move. Tucker squares up, shoots off the back of the rim, and packs it with a great feed inside of Pippen for a two-handed jam.
A stunned Phoenix team seemed helpless to even get into the game.
And the Suns right now playing Matador defense.
They're kind of sitting around watching each other, expecting something to happen when they got to make it happen.
And the lead balloons to 20 now.
Time out! Don't play like we're afraid. They're getting whatever they want. Get them off the block. Play some defense. Push them. We're playing like a bunch of wimps.
The Suns' finals festivities had come to an abrupt end. Now they would try to respond to their brutal wake-up call.
Barkley across the timeline. Hangs top of the key underneath the Miller for the jam.
Now everybody's running the court for the Suns.
The Suns have turned it up a
nice drop step spin move by Barkley. Barkley lays it in.
Phoenix cut into that sizable Chicago lead. And the crowd getting back into it.
Come on, keep your head. Keep your head.
Hey, you do win the final. Let's go. Keep your head. Everybody get together.
Though the Suns may have plotted their comeback, the Bulls had a plan of their own. They would counter the Suns' emotion with execution.
Horace Grant backs Barkley into the paint. Nice move. Spins to his right. Shoots and scores.
Stealing the home court advantage.
Bulls not rushing their shots again, showing the patience.
DJ measures a three.
They would leave the Suns in disarray and bring their once high spirits crashing down around them.
The Chicago Bulls take game one of this best of 7.
And had stunned this city of Phoenix here.
But even after this decisive battle, the Bulls knew that the war was only starting.
But one game don't make a series. I think, they are proving that, so I really feel that, we just take this game, pile it in with the rest, and go for another.
We have learned an awful lot about how you have to come out. We've learned a lot of times the hard way. Nobody has to play out of their minds. We don't have to have anybody have the game of their lives to beat this guys.
Let's not be satisfied with the first one.
boys. No let down. No let down. That's hard.
Let's not be satisfied with the first one. Let's do this.
Play hard, play tough, play smart. We don't have to be miracle men. We just have to play our games. If it's aggressive, it's good enough.
Barkley top of the key, guarded by Grant. Pull-up jumper, 18-footer. Good. That's the first lead for the Suns in this series.
Scotty against Dumas. Dumas stripped it and stole it. Dumas to steal. To Johnson. To Dumas running in and he jams.
This is where the fun starts right now. That's what we're here for.
The Suns opened game 2 on the offensive, and the Bulls found themselves back on their heels.
Now let's find the rhythm. We haven't got a rhythm yet. Let's find a little bit of rhythm out there.
The Bulls responded with an assurance that came from hard-won experience and from possessing one of the game's most devastating offensive weapons.
Jordan comes out and gets the ball. Takes it inside with the left hand and scores. There you go. Now Michael, top of the key against Marley. Fall away jumper. Got it. Something but net. Out to Michael Jordan. Suns double team. Now to Jordan breaking to the hoop. A no-look pass for Grant. He drives and jams. Pretty play. Marley on a drive the other way. Runs on in. He missed it. The rebound, Michael, who jerks it away from everybody. Looped ahead to Paxson. To BJ running in. To Horace. He goes up and jams it.
And the Bulls have hit their last 8 shots on fire. And a timeout taken by Paul Westphal.
Michael Jordan and the Bulls had taken over the game, but the Suns had an answer.
I want the ball to go inside this time.
They would look to their own superstar, and Charles Barkley would lock arms with Michael Jordan in a determined struggle for control of the contest.
Now underneath, Michael fights it up, scores with a left hand.
Matching each of Jordan's sensational plays, Barkley kept the Suns in the game by sheer force of will. But Jordan would simply be too much.
MJ hops down the lane. The left-hand layup is a beauty. Oh, what a pretty...
And despite Barkley's valiant efforts, the Suns still trailed with time running out and faced the disastrous prospect of a second home loss.
And this crowd right now sitting back a little bit on their seats. They are scared to death the Suns may lose their second straight here.
If you have a three, crack it. All right. Now they're desperate. They're going to get a great point. Right?
Desperate, but not defeated, the Suns mounted one last run.
Suns have the ball. Barkley on top. Over to Marley. Covered by Jordan. Out to Ainge. Pop up a three. Shazam! The Suns not going to go down easy. This is a team that's been down all night long and somehow stayed very much in it.
But with deadly calm, the Bulls would simply snuff out the Suns' final gasp.
Ainge goes up for a three. Pippen blocks it. Pippen blocks it and makes the steal. Boy, what a sensational block by Scottie Pippen.
Phoenix Suns become the first team to lose games 1 and 2 at home.
The Suns looking down a real dark road right now. And the Bulls are going to head back to the Windy City with 2 in hand and 3, if needed, to be played at the Chicago Stadium.
As the series shifted to Chicago, the Bulls' 2-0 lead seemed all but insurmountable. And their fans confidently expected to see them take the next step towards their historic goal.
The Bulls have won the last 2 NBA championships, and they're trying to three-peat.
But from the start, the game didn't go according to plan.
KJ starting on Michael Jordan today.
As the Suns showed that they would be far from cooperative.
Offensive foul. And the defensive change has bothered Chicago early.
Shoves a weak pass, cross court, tipped away from BJ by Dumas. He breaks away with another throw down, his third quick basket.
The Suns had surprised the Bulls on defense. Now on offense, they would surprise even themselves.
Squares up for a three. Yes! Oh, what a shot!
Boy, Marley has come to life.
Shot clock at 2. Marley fires and hits. Three-pointer from beyond area code range.
Chicago's dreams of history had been rudely disturbed, and now they found themselves scrambling to stay in the game.
Throw in. Oh, Pippen threw it off the back of the net. What a play! He fooled the Suns.
Post pass, top of the key, right side now. To Oliver Miller, who has his Pocket picked to the blind side by Michael. Here he comes. He flies and he jams it down.
With the score tied, this game of strange twists would turn even stranger.
JJ picks the ball away. Here's a long lead pass to Marley. Marley jams it, no basket. Timeout was called on the break. Can you believe it?
And as the clock reached its final seconds, the game was still tantalizingly up for grabs.
Barkley will try to win it one-on-one on Horace Grant. In and out, rebound Chicago. Jordan calls the timeout. The Bulls will have it at midcourt. We're tied at 103.
This is a barn burner.
And what a ball game we have had. Pippen holds. He looks, throws it near the basket. Grant catches, dip short. Oh!
The game was headed for overtime and into basketball lore.
It was incredible to watch because sometimes it seems like neither team could score, and then at one time they were just going back and forth scoring at will. So it was kind of a, who was going to give first.
Time running down. Here's Ames to win it. We go to a second overtime. Danny Ames with a chance to wrap it.
I mean, you kind of wonder if this is one of those, 27-inning baseball games where you're still sitting there at 3 in the morning, waiting for something to happen.
3 and 2/10 seconds to go. For Pippen, he has the shot, gets it off, and we go to a third overtime.
You can just see the pressure mounted. It's like you're calling a timeout after every play, and you look over at the coach and you see the coach sweating and loosening up his tie. The crowd gets into it, but yet you could kind of see, the energy was slowly being zapped from our guys.
Scottie Pippen is down on a baseline and hasn't moved. He is definitely injured.
He's got cramps in his legs.
A game that was supposed to belong to them had taken a toll on the Bulls, and the suddenly hopeful Suns were eager to take advantage.
Two more things. Rebound and give your body. Okay?
Marley works to the left side on Pippen, takes it down the lane, changes hand to the left-hand miss, got his own rebound back, and lays it in.
The tired Bulls simply couldn't keep up as the Suns ran away with the game.
Marley for 3. Whoa! Dan Marley with his 6th three-pointer.
The Suns have really shown that they just will not give up.
Off the Chambers baseline jumper, off the rim, no good. Chambers missed a wide open shot, and Stacey King threw it right to Barkley, who lays it in. Oh, that might be the backbreaker.
In one of the greatest games in finals history, the Suns had made a dramatic entrance into the series.
In a remarkable come-from-behind victory, the Phoenix Suns in triple overtime have defeated the Chicago Bulls to battle their way back into the series.
All right, as close as it can be right now.
Ain't nobody can say about our effort and heart.
All right, hey, we're part of history. Team of destiny. All we need is 3 more.
Yeah,
one. We can only get 1 on Wednesday.
That's the first one.
48 hours after their inspirational victory, the Suns were still on an emotional high.
That they won that triple overtime ball game. They're back in the series. They're down 2-1. They know if they can win this game, it's a dead even series, and they've got the home court advantage back.
There's a feeling that the battle has been joined, that the Phoenix Suns are here as foes, not foils, that they did more than restore their pride on Sunday, that they made it a series again. And now it's the Bulls' turn to respond to a challenge.
Flushed with confidence, the Suns charged into the game.
On the back and hits on the drive.
But this contest had become a pivotal one, and the Bulls were quick to meet the challenge.
A beauty coming down the lane by Horace.
Barkley on the dribble. Moves to his right, inside his Ames, reverse layup. Good. How about that?
Long floating pass ahead to PJ. Lobs to Pippen. Who jams? Sky again from the right side. A great alley-oop. 2-on-1 feed.
Barkley backing Grant.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, Chuck.
With both teams struggling to gain an advantage, Michael Jordan would break the deadlock as he scored 16 second quarter points.
Drive, finger roll is good again.
Michael just giving a clinic of getting to the hoop.
Now to Jordan, quickly by Marley, and he slams it home. Michael Jordan now looks like He is going to drive every time he gets his hand on a ball until they stop him.
Let's get a stop. Every possession is important. The three wouldn't hurt my feelings either, Marv.
And Marley would oblige, single-handedly carrying Phoenix back into the game.
Don't give Dan Marley any room.
Final seconds. Marley. Yes, and the foul. Potential four-point play. The three-pointer by Marley, and he's fouled by Jordan with 7/10 of a second remaining in the half.
As the second half began, the Suns looked to shake loose the Bulls' grip on this critical game.
Now it's heating up. This is a series now.
Oh, Ainge and Jordan going at each other.
Michael, whoa. I understand. Let's get down here and bring it around. You're absolutely right. Just stop it.
Attacking with relentless zeal, Phoenix chipped away at Chicago's lead.
A timeout taken by Phil Jackson, who doesn't like what he's watching right now.
Come on, score, baby. Get over. We got to get the momentum back. We need someone to step up and score.
Once again, it would be Michael Jordan who would be the difference.
Jordan will drive again to the hoop. Score it. Count it.
He'll have another try at a three-point play.
Either don't foul him or foul him. Foul him hard.
Though Jordan would continue to dissect the Suns' defense,
Crossover ball for Jordan and finishes with the finger roll.
Phoenix began to answer on offense.
And Kevin Johnson able to penetrate, so the Suns come rolling back.
KJ right side. Chicago by 4. Here's Barkley underneath. He'll jam it. It's a two-point game as the Suns battle back.
With one final push, the Suns seemed on the verge of stealing the game. But first they would have to contend with a determined Michael Jordan.
Here it goes to KJ, who fumbles the ball, and BJ steals it away. Westfall said, don't let him beat you.
They isolate Jordan.
10 seconds to go on the shot clock. 15 in the ball game. Michael will take it. He's fouled. He scored. He threw it up. Off balance and went in. Oh, my. Michael with his fist clenched near midcourt. I tell you, he's just simply amazing. He does whatever he has to do to beat you.
You can't say enough about Michael's effort. He just doesn't want to lose. He was attacking the basket. He just kept going at the basket and going at the basket. He was unbelievable. He was unreal.
He played like Michael.
Jordan's incredible 55-point performance had given the Bulls a 3-1 series lead and brought them within one game of completing their historic quest.
An entire city sits on the edge of hysteria tonight.
With the festive crowd anticipating a three-peat for the Bulls.
Michael, could you talk about the killer instinct in the playoffs over the last few years?
There's no doubt about it. This is the night the Bulls are going to make it 3 NBA titles in a row.
Is there any way this thing were to go back to Phoenix in your mind?
Well, like I said, I got rid of all my warm clothes, so I'm not going back.
We're gonna beat Phoenix, son! We're gonna send Charles Barkley back to Phoenix!
They're not supposed to win, they're not expected to win, and the pressure's all on you. And that gives you that anticipation that you gotta play not to lose. Don't do it that way. Go out there and seize it.
If you went around the stadium right now, you would assume that this game has already been played and the Bulls have won it.
It's been 8 months, man. This is what it's all been working for, man. For all the guys who've never been here before, we want to make it happen for everybody.
2 World Championship banners hanging high above the rafters on the west end here. The Bulls want to make it 3 here tonight.
This was to be the greatest game in franchise history. The Bulls and their fans were primed to celebrate their entrance into the record books, and they were ready to do it here at home in Chicago. Only one thing got in the way.
Stopped from behind. Dumas got a piece of it, and Dumas will finish it off.
Once again grinding with Horace. Draws the double team. Cross court to KJ. Fakes the pass. Moves into the lane. Straight out pass. Feed to Dumas, who throws it down with a slam jam.
Without warning, the Bulls found themselves ambushed by a suddenly energized Suns team. Desperation seemed to fuel the Suns' attack, and the Bulls never knew what hit them.
Ball knocked loose on the floor. Marley scrambles, throws it out back, saved by Dumas. Bounce pass to KJ.
Phoenix Suns are more aggressive. They are a step quicker than the Chicago Bulls on both ends of the court.
Down low on the blocks on the left side. They isolate for Barkley. He spins, backdoor move, slams it down.
The Suns had gained new life, and the Bulls had lost their moment to triumph at home, and maybe to triumph at all.
Barley for three. Oh, he was surprised that he had that kind of room.
Kevin Johnson dribbles all the way, coast to coast, and scores. And you can put it in the bank. We're going back to Arizona.
See you, Phoenix!
Now we go into the valley. Could be hot. Could be real hot. I would be lying if I said we were not disappointed because we could not accomplish the ultimate goal here in Chicago.
This has to be considered one of the most disheartening losses this franchise has ever been dealt.
And there will be no celebrating in Chicago tonight.
It was a very disappointing loss for us, and it's just really tough to swallow.
We talk about keeping our eyes on the prize and being focused, and a team with 2 championships, you would just think they would be a lot more focused than they've shown in this series. Right? I don't understand that.
The Chicago Bulls are in trouble. They're in trouble. Everybody better hold on.
Right home. Let's go from the start, man.
Let's do this.
What time is it?
The Bulls would quickly answer any questions about their focus as they began Game 6 in Phoenix with a devastating long-range barrage.
Jordan from long range. That's a three.
Now jump pass cross court to BJ. Fires a 3 out of the corner and hit it with 3 seconds to go on the shot clock. BJ knocks down a 3 from deep in the left corner there.
Nice pass.
You see a smart veteran Chicago team.
Pippen with the stop. Oh, what a move by Scottie Pippen. The Bulls now lead by 8.
Bulls seem to have this one under control right now.
Armstrong for 3. Oh, they are on fire from downtown. They are putting on a show. The Bulls hoping to wrap the series.
Why do they keep getting wide open? Because they set picks. Why do we have to shoot fadeaway jumpers every possession? Because we don't set picks and we don't move the ball. Period.
Once again, facing the prospect of elimination, the Suns launched yet another desperate comeback.
The steal by Pippen. He's diving for it. Able to get it back. Phoenix Suns are trying to come back. Chambers. Yes.
Hayes and the Suns not giving up.
Jordan pitched it back out. Cartwright able to get back to it. Goes down. Johnson with the steal. 3-on-1. Barley from Barkley. It counts. The Suns coming back at the Bulls.
Out front, Pippen starting to move top of the key, threw it away! Paxson broke the wrong way, and Pippen threw it right into the crowd.
And here comes Phoenix again.
Barkley backing Grant. Barkley changed his mind. Able to convert.
We will find a way to win this game. I don't care about the refs. I don't care about the fouls. If we do what we can do, we will win this game.
10 of defense. Bulls having difficulty locating the shot. We're down to 5 on the 24. We're down to 3. Down to 1. Pippen. 24-second violation.
Absolutely incredible. The Bulls can't find the basket.
It's the Bulls coming unglued now.
Phoenix with a chance to take the lead.
They give the Marley for a 3. Got it! And the Suns play for the first time.
Handle it. Pressure. Handle it. Pressure. And get going.
Another excellent defensive sequence. 3 on the 24. 2. 1.
And the clock ran out again. That's the 3rd time.
The Bulls playing scared, almost like they don't believe that they can win. Maybe the Suns are a team of destiny.
Barkley backing down. Horace Grant on the right side. Kicks it out back to KJ. Looks left, dribbles right down the lane. Puts up a runner. Scores!
They're up by 4.
Oh, Bulls just get out quick, out hustled by the Suns. We're going to have to see if they can respond to the challenge. That's what champions do.
The Suns sensing that they have the Bulls on the ropes.
It's going to be 7 games. This is going to be 7 games.
98-94.
Suns by 4. They have the basketball.
Out front to Marley. Marley holds. Now to Ames. Ames runs into the lane. Kicks it out back to Frank Johnson. Open for a leader.
18-footer. No. Rebound, Jordan. 43 seconds to go in the game.
MJ pushes it the other way.
Here comes Jordan all the way to the basket. Leads it up and in from coast to coast.
Now it's a 2-point game, 98-96.
Barkley starts to back down. Barkley is double teamed. Out to Kevin Johnson. Now to Marley.
Marley eluding Jordan. Frank Johnson.
Back to Frank Johnson. Back to Marley.
Marley. Baseline jump shot. Way short. Knocked and grabbed by Pippen, who fell down as the clock expired. This ball's going to be Chicago ball.
It's Chicago's game to win or lose. They put 14.1 seconds up. Suns lead by 2. They're going to put the ball in Michael Jordan's hands.
You got Michael. You keep it out of the middle.
No penetration. No penetration by anybody.
Michael Jordan will inbound. Pax waving for BJ to come back, and Michael flips it in to BJ, back to Michael.
They want Michael to get a full head of steam, try to keep him in the middle of the floor.
Michael 11 seconds. Across the timeline it comes, goes to Pippen.
Pippen breaks inside.
Well, Pippen got the snap.
They go to Grant. To Paxson.
Paxson going for the win.
Here's Paxson for 3.
Paxson.
Yes! Yes!
Hit the three.
Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead.
And this round is done.
John Paxson nails a 3. That's the first score by anybody other than Michael Jordan in the entire fourth quarter.
What?
Do you believe this? Do you believe this?
If they're a team of destiny, something positive will happen right here.
Looking, KJ, bounce pass tip, grabbed by Oliver Miller, back to KJ.
Here's Johnson. Johnson gets, no, he could not get it off. Knocked away by Grant. It's all over. The Chicago Bulls have won 3 straight NBA championships.
The Bulls win the championship.
For the third year, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls have climbed the Mount Olympus of the NBA. They're the world champions of basketball.
This is the Bulls. Third in a row. They are now the Trip Bulls. Oh my!
It's up to the Sonics to convince the Bulls and the basketball public that they have come here as true foes, not mere foils.
Anybody want to go over anything? Danny, Bennett? Go rock.
Go.
Around the door. Carolina at guard, 6'6", Michael Jordan. Believe in yourselves. Trust each other out there and be proud of what you've done. Now go out there and be big.
Let's go.
Go that way, baby. Now stay still. Here we go. What's going on?
The Sonics were determined to prove themselves worthy opponents and came out in full force.
Skips over to Kemp out on the wing, fires over a long link. John Kemp with an 18-footer.
The Bulls had not played in over a week, and early on their game was uncharacteristically shaky.
And Kemp has been unstoppable here in the early moments. 3 for 3.
We knew that Seattle was going to come in and try to steal either 1 or 2 on our home floor, and what you want to be is sharp and ready for that, and that was our greatest worry coming in.
Harris! The Chicago Bulls, it has been a long layoff.
33.
Right now, their hope is that they're going to get an offensive rebound or a long rebound or a loose ball or a steal. No turnovers, no rebounds.
The poor shooting continues by Chicago.
Rebound grabbed by Kemp. Outlet pass to Payton. Ahead to Johnson. Sneaks down the floor. To the glass. Lays it up and in.
Sonics playing great basketball. All cylinders working right now. The Bulls, rust is starting to set in.
Block here.
Everything coming up Sonics here in the early going.
Let's go Bulls! Let's go Bulls! Let's go Bulls!
Urged on most of all by their own burning desire, the Bulls, as they had done all year, found a way to come back.
Here at the start.
Marking their first finals appearance, Ron Harper and Luke Longley carried much of the early load before turning over the spotlight to the ultimate clutch performer.
Michael.
Brilliant as always in the face of unyielding pressure, Michael Jordan once again turned the finals into his own personal stage.
one game.
Take it, Michael. Take it, Michael.
Jordan to the ground. Now Jordan going against Payton. Goes to the fadeaway. Oh, he wanted that shot.
With Jordan and the Bulls applying the pressure, Seattle was about to self-destruct.
Serious trouble.
Stay right here. Flagrant. Flagrant. Two.
Joe Crawford's going to go a flagrant foul.
I got a flagrant foul. It's a flagrant foul. We got 2 shots and possession.
The conversation continues. And a technical is confirmed. Absolutely uncalled for situation.
Come out here, Bob. Come on. No, we just talking to him. We just trying to let him know what they were doing. That's not right.
He gets a flagrant foul and then 2 technicals. We're going to just see a parade to the line. Now Chicago with a chance to open it up a bit here.
Midway through the third quarter, the Sonics found themselves down by 11, in desperate need of inspiration.
Be aggressive. Whatever you do, be aggressive. Don't be soft. Be aggressive.
Chicago up 7. Kemp goes to work, turns on Longley, left hands one up and in off the window. Shot Kemp.
And don't give up on your shooting. Pass it off and you got the 3 shooters.
Deadlift Shrimp hoists in a 3-pointer, and the Sonics trail it 71-67.
This does not look good. 10-point lead. All of a sudden we couldn't match up on defense. Get back.
Deadlift up the center of the floor, behind the back dribble in the flow, spots a seam, stops, pops to tie. He got it!
And the game is tied at 75.
Right now, I think Chicago's a little concerned.
So what we're doing is this. We're taking Tony, we're standing him out here.
Just when Tony Kukoc seemed like a forgotten man in the postseason, he reemerged.
They drop it in now to Kukoc, right side. Shrimp is there.
Kukoc with a focus move. Spinning his way.
Now it is Kukoc, fires 3, buries it from the right-hand side.
His jumper has been absent throughout the whole playoff. Tony Kukoc is feeling it.
A potential 4-point play.
George Karl warned his team. Michael Jordan is going to take over. Well, right now, it's Tony Kukoc taking over.
Bolstered by 10 straight points from Kukoc, the Bulls now had an insurmountable lead.
A steal by Harper. Can he control it? Does. Comes in. Left side. Biggest lead of the game. They're putting them out of their misery right now.
And they were now ready to rest their case.
MJ off the dribble. Michael crosses over. Michael falls, fires, scores! Michael, a rainbow!
Well, so much for the 9-day layoff and the concerns of Phil Jackson and the Chicago Bulls.
3 on the shot clock. Here comes Michael, puts it on the floor, pull up 16-footer, put 2 more down for the King. He is the man.
Game 1 belongs to the Bulls. 107 to 90.
Looking ahead to Game 2, the Bulls were determined to maintain their momentum.
We sure shooting rocks at the beginning of the game, except for Kemp.
Let's make it 2 in a row. Let's get off to a good start.
Let's go, fellas.
Gentlemen, earlies and chases are all there. Hey, come on, gentlemen. All the way.
Just take your time and relax, and everything's going to work out great.
Pulls the trigger. No good. Offensive attack by Johnson. No good.
From the opening tap, it was obvious that these were not the same Sonics Chicago had seen in Game 1.
I will tell you, it is clear now that the Sonics are showing up with desire.
But for every basket the Sonics made, the Bulls answered right back.
Hawkins with a beautiful move.
You can see the mindset of Hersey Hawkins. Going to attack the rim every chance he gets.
But the Sonics had to contend with a determined Michael Jordan, who scored 16 first-half points.
Jordan's feeling it.
Michael has his game face on, as always.
If Michael gets to the post up, go double him. We still got goals on Michael Jordan. Every time he touches it, you're going after him.
And time comes Jordan.
It's inside the arc at the top, deflected beautifully by Askew. Hayden's loose, open basket, jams it home.
Blocked by Perkins, hands to Harper, rejected by Kemp.
Sonics hanging tough.
Steve, turn around and lead.
We've got 11 turnovers, guys. We're not moving the ball. We're not ready to pass the ball. We're not making sound plays out there. Let's get it down now. Let's go. Let's finish this half good.
But it was the Sonics who finished the first half strong. Having cut the lead to 1, the game was up for grabs. That was until Dennis Rodman single-handedly ignited the Bulls in the third quarter.
Dennis Rodman. And Kerr fires for 3. Rodman with the offensive rebound and then ties an NBA Finals record.
It's Pippen for the 20-footer. Misses. Tap back Rodman again, Jack.
Dennis Rodman is killing the Sonics again, and George Karl is taking timeout.
You can't let them have 3 or 4 minutes where we freak out. We make the play.
Seattle crumbling under the building pressure right now in Chicago.
Taking his cue from Rodman, Tony Kukoc sparked a 10-1 run, scoring 8 of the 10 points.
Brown sends it to Kukoc. He fires another 3. He's got it. Special K burns him for 6 points, and it's 72-65. Now they hound the ball. They steal it. Pippen's got it. Right away from Ashfield. Oh, listen to the crowd. The Bulls on fire again.
Shot clock at 4. Perkins, air ball.
What did they do against the Chicago defense?
Here comes Jordan. Leading. And George Karl wants a timeout.
George Karl trying to rally the troops right now. They trail it 76-65.
Win or lose, we're taking something in that locker room and believe in each other in this huddle. You gotta believe that, guys. You fought too hard. Every one of you. Grab each other and trust each other. Don't do anything except fight, fight, fight.
The gritty Sonics fought back valiantly. In the fourth quarter, they sliced what had been an 11-point Bulls lead down to 3.
Score it, and he's fouled by Kerr.
Skips to shot in the corner, deep. Takes Longley into the paint, turns the corner, lays it up and in with the right hand. He is fouled. Sean Kemp one-on-one blows by Longley.
But with time running out, the Bulls still held the lead, and Pippen held the game in his hands.
We got 2 shots.
Scotty.
So the situation, 8 9/10 seconds remaining. 3-point Chicago lead. As you mentioned, Matt, no timeouts for Seattle. So the Bulls get back to the Seattle front court. It's Pippen misses on both. Rodman able to get a jump ball out of it.
Come on, Dennis. Oh, let you get off the line. Stop the loss.
The toss, the tap, Pippen, off, knock free, Shrimp, and there's a foul.
Well, Pippen missed 2. Now Rodman missing. Only 3 7/10 seconds to go in the fourth. The Chicago Bulls escape with the victory. The Bulls over the Sonics 92-88.
They've held court. Can you guys hold court 3 straight?
That's what it comes down to. We're going to have to go back in our building and take care of business. So our backs against the walls at this point.
They're filing in here at Kia Arena, a standing room only crowd to cheer their Sonics on.
We're at home, it's going to be rock and roll, it's going to be loud, it's going to be crazy.
Offense, fingers and flags. Gotta get one now. Southern!
They feel more energized here at home. I think they're confident here at home.
Supersonics hope that the energy, the hometown crowd, all of that translates into a victory.
Only 2 teams in the history of the NBA have been able to come back from an 0-2 deficit.
You know, they got more things to worry about. They got people patting them on the back. They got to save face on their home court. They're down 2-0. They really had all the pressure.
Seattle's got to have a great start today to give these fans some hope and keep them cheering.
We're on our home court. We're running all night long. We're running.
I think that Seattle maybe felt like that the home court advantage was going to do it for them in that third game, and we got off to a tremendous start.
Tony Kukoc, again playing a key role, started in place of the injured Ron Harper, and the Bulls came out firing.
Well, Chicago looked sluggish and slow of foot in Game 2. Much quicker here to start Game 3.
Chicago's early onslaught drained the life out of the Sonics.
Another bad pass. The sloppy play by Seattle continues.
Could be a long afternoon for George Karl's crew unless they can handle the basketball.
The Bulls had come to Seattle with killer eyes, but it was their flawless execution that brought the crowd to an eerie silence.
This is supposed to be the noisiest crowd in the NBA.
The strong survive. And you use their fans as your fuel. You use their emotion as your emotion.
Peyton baseline double teams. Jump pass right to Michaels.
The steal by Jordan leading to the breakaway by Pippen. Oh, the Bulls are just eating up the Sonics in this opening quarter with a minute 35 remaining. It's the Bulls 32 and the Sonics 12.
Sonics trying to put together field goals and start something here in the second 12 minutes.
Hawkins, 3-on-1. Peyton for Perkins. Nicely done. And that gets the crowd going.
Sean, if they five it, go to the rim, okay?
And here's Kent.
Offensive foul. 40 offense.
Seattle tried desperately to mount a comeback, but the Bulls countered with a one-man explosion that was enough to lower the Sonics' boom.
Don't be afraid to throw to number 23. He's all right.
Jordan. Yes.
Yeah, Mike.
Where's Michael? Where is it? Doesn't seem. Back to Kukoc. 6. There's Michael.
All the way 15. Off the screen by Sally.
Good again. Michael Jordan is in another time, in another space, on another plateau.
The Bulls by 18.
Michael wants to make a statement. He's making it over and over again.
Jordan's teammates took up the cause.
Scotty with a dribble. Hard drive by Detlef running in off the
Got it. A foul.
Well, a symbolic finisher to a first half that has been just splendid for the Chicago Bulls.
But as the second half began, Seattle's defense clamped down on Chicago.
Keep the pressure on them. Everybody rebound in, get into their chest a little bit.
And again, the Sonics very aggressive defensively. They are jumping on the ball.
And the Bulls now appear to be the team that is rattled.
You guys aren't ready for this barrage down there. We got to get your feet underneath you, Luke.
Only about 5 points this halftime. Let's go.
For 5 seconds, he traveled on the pass.
The Sonics take it back on another Bull turnover.
Stay in the game, gentlemen. Stay in the game and see if they get tired in the third and fourth quarter. Keep working your way back with your defense.
They did just that, and were now within striking distance.
They have cut that 24-point lead in half. 73-61.
Hope is still alive at the Key Arena.
But the Bulls kept their poise.
Hawkins for 3. They just cannot hit from downtown, and it leads to this. A fast break bucket by Jordan.
They also displayed some great defense of their own.
The steal by Pippen. Kukoc chased by Perkins.
And look at the fans head to the exit.
The Sonics were now utterly frustrated as the Bulls continued to control every phase of the game.
Come on, Luke.
Not to be outdone by Chicago's usual offensive heroes, Luke Longley stepped up and added some luster of his own.
Here's Longley getting inside. Nice move by Luke Longley.
Seattle rushed the ball, put a lot of pressure on the ball handlers when I get good looks. I wish basketball were that simple, and sometimes it is.
Yeah, from down under. I'll tell you, son.
What a game for Luke Longley. Longley with a playoff career high of 19 points.
Close it up, baby. One more game, baby. One more game, baby. One more game, baby.
This is the night the Chicago Bulls could sweep away Seattle.
For Bulls fans, this night held the promise of immortality.
Bulls are gonna sweep. Sweep time.
Bulls in 4. It's a foregone conclusion.
I think it's going to be a tough task. I'm more relaxed now than I've ever been. Maybe the 3-0 lead makes you a little bit more relaxed.
Look, it's Junior Pippen house, y'all.
This crowd's gonna bring it up. They're gonna be loose. They're gonna freewheeling. They're going to have everything going for them. You got to match that intensity early on.
But the fans who had been stunned into silence in Game 3 saw the real Sonics finally emerge.
It's the opportunity to show what we are, guys. Let's go out there and play together. Let's go,
Great pass, Peyton Cook, and he smashes it home. A circus shot by Sean Kemp.
For the first time in the finals, the Sonics played like a team that had won 64 regular season games.
Bulls totally out of sync.
We've got a situation which we've got to get ourselves scored.
But the Bulls had suddenly turned into mere mortals, victims of a Seattle team that had finally taken charge.
Put it down, Sam the man.
Are you getting the idea? It's Seattle's night.
Turn, wheel, overhead slam, over London.
The Seattle Sonics will not be swept.
Sure, we want to win Game 5, but we still feel pretty good about ourselves right now. We're up 3-1, and we feel like we're in great shape.
Just put this down as a bad game and look forward to Friday.
Chicago was still supremely confident.
Just got to go out here and win this game, man. Let's don't prolong it any longer. Let's go play hard.
Good 48, fella. Let's go.
And they came out strong.
Michael Jordan on the breakaway.
So did the Sonics.
What a furious pace to this game.
The two teams were locked in battle until Sonic defense overwhelmed the Bulls.
Defending hard on every possession. Making a pass is difficult, right?
For the second game in a row, the Bulls were unable to shake free from Seattle's defense.
I think they're tired, gentlemen. I think they're tired.
The Sonics, though, were sharp and quick.
Instead of searching for their places in the history books, the Chicago Bulls now will go home and start searching for answers.
Destiny had a date with the Chicago Bulls, but now it flirts with the Seattle Sonics.
We didn't think we'd be back here, but we are.
Now the Bulls' place alongside NBA legends doesn't seem like such a burning question. The only thing burning is the Bulls' 3-0 lead, suddenly down to 3-2.
Understand Game 4 and 5, what got us success. You played together and stayed together to the point that Chicago was becoming the team that was breaking apart.
Well, the champagne is still ready, guys, and it's maybe the coldest champagne in the history of sports. We were talking about the Bulls as a team for the ages. Now in Chicago, they're questioning, are the Bulls aging?
Who would have thought that we would look at Michael Jordan and see what we think is a fatigued Michael Jordan? Somebody is daring to pull on Superman's cape, and that somebody has been Gary Payton.
So, is tonight the night Chicago celebrates? Or does Seattle push them to the brink?
Have some fun out there, gentlemen. And you have fun by passing the basketball and playing your style up and down the floor. Let's go. Sonics.
The Sonics were confident, but all season the Bulls managed to find the best in themselves when they needed it most. They possessed a resolve that had been forged by 72 victories. This game would be a testament to their epic season.
This is the kind of start Chicago was looking for.
And fittingly, the three players who had led them throughout the season would put to rest any doubts.
This team has overcome everything. I mean, a lot of teams cannot handle the pressure of have to go out there and do what people expect you to do. And this is what this team is all about. This team won't let anything get in its way.
The Bulls dominating.
The Bulls jumped out to an early lead and never relinquished it.
Side Michael. Guard! Oh my, what a pass!
To be a part of what has happened and to have gone through this whole season with all these guys, with Scotty and Michael and Dennis. What a huge thrill. I still can't believe sometimes that I've been lucky enough to be a part of it.
Curry guns the three from the right side. Good. Stevie Kerr up over Perkins. And it almost brought rain here in the United Center. The Bulls threatening to blow this Game 6 open.
As they had all year, everyone on the Bulls played their parts to perfection.
It's very special, really, because of a lot of guys who haven't been in this situation, and to be a part of them, and just to have the opportunity to see that reaction of them being here for the first time.
I think they're absolutely one of the greatest. They've delivered all year long.
As they crowned their extraordinary journey, the Bulls showed the basketball world the essence of what made them special.
It's been everything you could ask for out of a basketball season, from the winning to the teammates. I've had so much fun this year. I don't want it to end.
Bulls by 16.
As the Bulls took their final steps toward history, the true measure of their greatness lay in the inspiration they drew from one another.
Pippen leading the 3-on-2 as they spread the floor. Pippen for Rodman on the right.
And the Chicago Bulls are closing in now on that championship. The crowd is up. The celebration is underway in the United Center.
I mean, there's a lot of sweat, and there's been a lot of injuries this year, and you play through them because it's fun and it's enjoyable to be out there with the 12 guys on the floor, and you're sharing something.
I'm very proud of them, and I think that the fact that they have found a way to work together and enjoy each other's presence and touching each person's life in their own very inimitable way is, I think, terrific.
The Chicago Bulls have regained the NBA throne.
And they are going wild in the Windy City.
Every kid had his one big dream, I think. And I can recall growing up talking about NBA championship, playing on the NBA championship team.
Your 72 wins, an NBA record, and this championship placed the Chicago Bulls among the storied teams in NBA and sports history.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Chicago for the NBA World Championship Game 1. It should be a dandy.
Yeah, we're taking it. We're taking it. They're going to win it tonight.
Trying to win one for the thumb, the 5th time in 7 years, and now they go against the amazing Utah Jazz with John Stockton and Karl Malone.
Lamb program, Game 1 program.
You couldn't have asked for a better matchup, especially with Sloan's ties to Chicago.
Hello, Jeff. How you doing?
And it's hard to go against Michael Jordan and home court advantage, but with a subpar Scottie Pippen, I think Utah has an excellent chance to grab one of these first 2 games.
Control Stockton. That means everybody get your eye on him. Make sure you're seeing where he's at on the court. They'll get the ball to him right away.
This is what you worked hard for.
What time is it? Game time! Since the dawn of spring, the Utah Jazz have been the best basketball team in the NBA. They're ready, and there's no excuses from Utah.
Congratulations.
This series features the NBA's most valuable player and the guy who many feel should have won this year's MVP award.
Relax. I'm not going to fool you. I'm not going to fool you. Relax. Relax. Relax.
And from the beginning, the Jazz were determined to make it clear that they belonged on the NBA's biggest stage.
That's exactly the type of ball that Utah has to play.
Karl Malone, got it by Rodman, a following 15-footer by the mailman, good!
As Utah grabbed an early lead, the Bulls struggled to chip away the rust of a 5-day layoff.
The Bulls are off to a very shaky start.
It's Phil Jackson, a little upset that the team didn't come out with more intensity.
Let's get ourselves together on this. Light them up.
And in typical Chicago fashion, it was the Bulls' defense that provided them with a spark.
Bushler with the steal. And the rebound handled by Carr. Traveling violation. What a play by Hoffer.
Same thing you get, John.
You didn't call it, though.
But I don't want to hear that. Same thing you get.
The Jazz clung to a slim lead as Game 1 evolved into a classic battle, with the superstars from each team rising to the challenge.
Here's Jordan. Gonna pull it up, fadeaway 14-footer's good. Michael.
Come on! Fight for the Bulls!
And Harper battles through it a second time. Now Malone rolls past it.
Yeah, boy! Way to go!
The Bulls, however, would get an unexpected lift from a determined Scottie Pippen.
Pippen is showing some signs despite the foot injury.
Flashes to the top. Taken away by Pippen, who blocked Russell. An easy layup. The place will explode. Scottie Pippen has really soaring now.
Jordan putting moves on Isley and pops it out. Pippen for three.
Yes! Pippen with the three-point bomb. What an incredible basketball game.
This is it, my man. This is what you worked hard for. Have fun.
In the closing minutes, with the outcome hanging in the balance, the stage was set for a dramatic finish, and each team's leading men would again step forward.
They've got it right there. Back to the basket.
The ball down low left into Jordan. Jordan box in. 1 horn a set. Michael left to right. Fall away. 15-footer.
Good. Chicago leads.
John needs to play with poise here.
Goes right side. Back to the mailman. Faking. Driving. Force it up and in. Great move on the underhand scoop. The Jazz lead 79-78.
Rebounded by Harper.
Back to Pippen for three.
Pippen's three. Leads it. Good. Pippen with a three. It's 81-79. It can't get any better than this.
Stockton circles. Looking.
Stockton wide right. Stockton down low to Antron. Back to Stock. Three-pointer. He got it. He got it. John Stockton.
The Jazz by one. 82-81.
It's going to be whoever has the ball last.
Chicago's got to be concerned, folks.
Stockton off the dribble. Stockton, top of the key. Stockton jacks one and missed it. Long rebound, Malone.
Malone's got it. 9 seconds. There's a loose ball foul. It's on Rodman.
That puts Karl Malone on the line with the game tied at 82.
Malone now with the first free throw. Takes his time. The crowd frantic behind the glass. No, he missed it. It rimmed out.
Now the Bulls with an opportunity.
One more for Karl Malone. 9 seconds left in this game.
Just make sure you follow through and don't short arm him.
He misses. You've got to get this rebound. Malone.
Oh, he missed the break. Rebounded by Jordan. And the Bulls take a timeout.
Bulls get a last chance. 7 5/10 left.
What do you think Phil Jackson is thinking about? Will it automatically be Michael Jordan?
I think it'll go to Michael Jordan and then let him create.
Bulls basketball and a chance to win it right here.
Kukoc has got the ball inbounds from Pippen, and here is Michael. 4 on the shot clock now. Keeps it on the dribble. Russell's there.
MJ, top of the circle against Russell. Michael hangs, fires, scores! Knocked it in, Bulls win! He knocked it in at the buzzer, Bulls win! How many times has he done that?
It is all over. The Chicago Bulls have won at the buzzer.
If somebody asks you to name your 3 favorite, or the 3 you remember best.
1982 is easy. Cleveland is certainly easy. That's the only 2 I can remember. I'm getting senile, I guess. I've had so many, I can't even remember them all.
It's been 72 hours since Michael Jordan performed the latest in a career filled with heroics, and players and fans have waited anxiously for this Game 2 of the best of 7.
After their heartbreaking loss in Game 1, the Jazz looked to bounce back. But on this night, they'd face a Chicago team that was hitting on all cylinders.
Chicago coming down, up a couple of field goals, and greedy for more. Longley's going to lay it in. Slam dunk. Chicago playing like the champions.
Michael the assist. Turn up the energy.
What a beginning.
It's all falling apart for the Jazz right now.
20-second timeout.
They're just going to have to totally regroup.
Reeling from Chicago's onslaught, The Jazz try to fight their way back.
Stockton looking in to Karl Malone. Crowd's got a twist right. Hook and score.
Utah battling away.
Hornacek fires one up and hits.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! And who knows what's going to happen here.
But the Bulls had all the answers, and they would find a way to stop the Utah surge.
Screen across, slipping Hornacek back. Playing Hornacek, Stockton, and Malone in a triangle.
Any hopes of a Jazz rally quickly faded as their finely tuned offense was completely shut down.
Up top to Malone. Karl dumped inside. Russell's all alone. Blocked by Pippen.
It is Chicago's defense which is authoring the story here in Game 2.
Malone rejected. Recovered by Anderson.
No shot. No shot. 24-second violation.
The defense has been suffocating. The Jazz can't get anything on.
When you've got incredibly agile, active, long-armed defenders, you can really commit to the ball, and we had guys just jumping the ball handler, Stockton or Malone or whoever it was that had the ball, and making it hard for them to get anywhere with their offense, and it stifled them.
Wow, this is Chicago Bull basketball. It's all clicking now.
With the Bulls at their best, the rout was on.
Away, picked back up by Stockton. Michael a steal. MJ runs it by Russell. Michael to the top of the key, whipped to Pippen. He goes up, dunks the ball.
Great pass from MJ.
12 unanswered by Chicago.
Finishing 1 assist shy of a triple-double, Jordan would again turn the finals into his own personal showcase.
Back to Michael, circles, runs inside, reverses, scores! What a move by MJ! Yes, sir!
But the Jazz still had to endure one final dagger.
Knocked away, Dennis got it back. Wheels, fires a three, got it!
Oh, man! Icing on the cake.
Chicago up 2-0. Let's go to Salt Lake.
We just got waxed tonight as a whole. And now we go home. And now you go home and try to protect your home court.
You are witnessing history in Salt Lake City. It has never happened before. The Utah Jazz, a home team in the NBA Finals. The scene outside the Delta Center, frankly, a party.
Chicago doesn't know what windy is until the Jazz blow them away.
Show me the title!
I expect that crowd to be extremely loud, a little bit rowdy, and ready to roll.
There'll be 20,000 of them. You won't be able to hear yourself talk here. I mean, they absolutely go bananas.
Not in our house! Sit down!
The Bulls would love to take the 3-0, and the Jazz in a desperate situation where they need a win for sure. Get after this team early. Get your spots early in your triangle so you can operate, get yourself settled in. Play hard every play.
But the Bulls were taken right out of their game plan by a Jazz team that was suddenly re-energized. Setting a new tone with their aggressive play, Utah came storming back into the series.
So Utah has come out more aggressive.
Stock front court left. Stock down the middle to Melvin. Drive, hang, score. Count it, and he's fouled.
Fast break basketball for the Utah Jazz.
Karl, free throw line, jumping up. Hit, rebound, jammed in. Back break, Foster.
The Bulls seem frustrated tonight.
Foster for three. Yes! Mark Foster has been a major factor.
The Jazz with their biggest lead of the game.
Now the Bulls beginning to unravel a little bit.
We're not on the boards. We're not getting seconds. Your team defense was absolutely horrible.
And things would only get worse for the Bulls as Karl Malone would deliver one of his greatest performances.
Up top, Karl Malone, fake left, go right, power to the hoop, scoop it, score it! The Melvin!
Malone simply took over the game, scoring 37 points.
Karl Malone with a big-time game.
MVP! MVP!
A chant of MVP for Karl Malone.
You gotta love it, baby!
Standing ovation to the Utah Jazz, who have been able to get back into this series with a solid performance.
You would hardly believe that this is the same team which dominated Game 2. It's either the altitude or they did not take the Jazz seriously.
Phil, did the altitude or anything else bother Michael tonight?
There is a certain factor about that. Usually the first run, these guys kind of acclimate themselves to it, but they're the ones that experience it. I was a little bit short of breath on the sideline, but not too bad.
the ball down there and shaped up early enough, you can keep driving this team crazy because they'll be all over the ballpark. They're just going to run around and play defense all over the place. You just keep your space and keep filling in behind.
The Bulls had lost some of their momentum, but not their composure. Getting ready for Game 4, they calmly prepared to execute their strategy.
Go, Luke, go, Dennis.
But as the game began, Chicago's carefully crafted plan was derailed by Utah's furious attack.
Well, nothing is going smoothly at the offensive end for Chicago. Everything is a struggle, and you have to give a lot of that credit to the Jazz defense.
The block by Ostertag, but Hopper able to hang in. Utah starting to find the rhythm.
Bounce to Malone. Bangs into Rodman, goes up and scores.
No call.
Utah's got a head of steam. 40, off-balance shot, blocked by Pippen, picked up by Karl Malone. To Russell for three from the angle right. Yes! Jazz up 48-44.
Though the Jazz continued their assault,
Down the middle to Foster, slammed up! Jake Foster!
the Bulls stuck to their game plan.
Draw the defense, move it on to the next guy.
Chicago battled to stay within range, and as Game 4 entered the final stretch, they began one of their trademark runs.
Long, a facial served up.
Chicago finally getting some good ball movement.
Michael down the lane, he took the ball.
All the way to the hole.
Back to Karl Malone on the angle left, follow away 16-footer, no good.
The Bulls doing a terrific job defensively, taking the Jazz out of its game.
Rebounded by Pippen, and here comes Jordan. Jordan puts it away on the breakaway. And the Bulls lead by 5.
The Bulls had taken control of the game and seemed on the verge of putting the Jazz away.
I mean, we're up 5, and we wanted to put a nail in the coffin. Didn't work out that way.
Once again, the resilient Jazz disrupted the Bulls' plans.
Yes! John Stockton makes it 71-69.
Jordan puts the move on Russell.
Staging an emotional comeback, Utah would stun the usually unflappable champs.
Michael Jordan.
That is a tough call against Jordan here.
Jordan, right side, Michael, up top, 20-footer, no good. Rebound, Stockton, ahead to Karl Malone. He's got it, Stockton to Malone. He scores. Jazz take the lead. Incredible. The Jazz take the lead.
Jordan outside with Russell there. Fires the three. No, rattles out. Utah's gonna win this baby. This baby's over. Utah has won Game 4, and this series is deadlocked at 2 victories apiece.
I mean, we came here to try to get one game, and that's still there ahead of us. So it's definitely the pivotal game of this series, and we feel like we still have our opportunity to go up.
But the Bulls' confidence would soon give way to concern as they received a stunning blow in the hours leading up to Game 5.
Now the big story here tonight concerning Michael Jordan's physical conditions. He is suffering from flu-like symptoms. His status is uncertain.
This is Karl Malone's night. He has to show the world just how great a player he is. Marv, the Jazz, they have to win tonight if their dream is going to come true.
The bad news for the Bulls, the stomach virus that has hit Michael Jordan, and you wonder just how much, how long, and how hard he'll be able to go.
Never in the history of the NBA, since they've gone to the 2-3-2 format, has the home team won all 3 of the games. The Utah Jazz are favored to do exactly that.
I don't know if Michael can carry the Bulls on the road against the Jazz. This is the finals, and this team is for real, and he needs help. And unless he gets it, I don't believe they're going to win Game 5.
With Jordan stricken by illness, the Bulls would find themselves walking into a lion's den as they face the surging Jazz, the league's MVP, and one of the NBA's most frenzied crowds.
Stockton looking, whipped inside, Malone goes up, counts, and a foul.
And early on, Chicago's worst fears would be realized as Utah would explode out of the gate.
Everything clicking right now for Utah.
Penetrating move, bad pass, knocked away, but Malone runs it down with a good hustle. Anderson, baseline, a slam. This is an embarrassment for Chicago.
The rebound, Steve Kerr. Kerr ahead to Tony, and he threw it away. Kukoc never saw it coming.
This is going to be a blowout.
And things would go from bad to worse for Chicago as the Jazz stormed to a 16-point lead in the second quarter.
But if you let this get any more out of reach now, that you're at a point where, especially with Michael ailing, you're in danger of putting yourself in a position where you have no chance to win the game. Dump to Michael. MJ against Russell to the free throw line. Hangs in the air. Jumper good.
Tough shot.
Nothing but net for Michael.
Despite his weakened condition, Jordan valiantly kept his Bulls in contention.
And Jordan with 12 of his 16 points here in the second quarter. And the steal by Jordan. Behind the back on Russell. He turned it around and fed it to Pippen. Oh, by Jordan. What a play by Michael Jordan.
But with their leader exhausted, the question remained whether the Bulls could stay within range. And before halftime, the Jazz would provide an ominous answer.
Russell's open on Bushler. Slam! Oh! A big-time slam. Utah will take a lead in intermission.
We talked about that uphill fight, especially in front of a crowd like this and a team as good as Utah. Sometimes you carry the fight to them, but you just don't have enough energy.
Michael still doesn't feel very well. The Bulls need other guys to step in and step up.
Utah just playing unflustered basketball. No matter what you do to them, they run right back at you.
Throughout the second half, the fatigued Jordan would somehow keep the Bulls in the game.
MJ, Michael for three. Come on. Yes, sir. MJ and Trey.
Game 5 had now developed into a tense back-and-forth battle.
Hornacek got Jordan in the air. Here's the shot. Good. This is going to be real tough down the stretch. This fourth quarter is going to be a war.
Michael, a drive through traffic. Scoops a shot up and scores.
Tough shot. Jordan is absolutely exhausted and worn out.
And Michael is dead on his feet.
Exhausted.
This is where Utah's been great with the game close.
Shot clock at 4. Morris. On their feet here at the Delta Center.
Here is Jordan outside. Chicago down 3. Puts it down. Drives the lane. A running 8-footer. Yes. And it's a 1-point Utah lead.
Michael Jordan, incredible.
As this pivotal contest reached its waning moments, the Jazz would once again look to seize control of the series.
Pippen goes loose ball, picked up by Hornacek, no whistle, shot clock 2. Stockton, 3 for the lead. Another huge 3 by Stockton.
Same exact spot that he hit that enormous three-pointer in game 4.
Sweat just pouring off Michael Jordan. No time to rest now.
MJ, this will be the guttiest performance maybe all time.
And all eyes here are going to be on Michael Jordan. On top, Pippen wants it. Wants to go on Hornacek. Demanded the ball. Back Michael. Open 3. Yes! They lead it. 38 points for the Kings.
Stuck a dagger at him with a 3.
Yes!
Jordan's crushing three-pointer would finish off the Jazz in Game 5 and cap off one of the most unforgettable performances in NBA history.
Classic performance by the flu-ridden Michael Jordan.
Everything that he gave us today was unbelievable. You know, as his teammates, we really appreciate the way that he steps up and shows his leadership to our ball club. I didn't want to give up. You know, no matter how sick I was, or how tired I was, or how, low on energy I was, I felt an obligation, to my team, to the city of Chicago, to go out and give that extra effort.
Tonight, the curtain drops as the greatest show on earth performs for the last time. The drive for 5 will end right where it started, as the Bulls will be crowned kings of the hill once again
You got enough to end it tonight?
I do. I hope everybody else does too.
They want to get this done tonight. They don't want to have to go to a Game 7 where almost anything can happen.
First of all, I think you all know we're anxious about this game. This game in which we're all a little nervous about going out and performing well and doing the right thing.
We don't plan on just going out. Not quietly, not easy. So you can guarantee it's going to be a war tonight.
Don't think about anything but the play ahead. The next play, the play you're in. Keep your mind in focus.
If the Bulls could win the title tonight, Chicago would become the third franchise to win 5 titles in a decade. The greatest athlete of our time hopes tonight is a coronation of the greatest dynasty the NBA has seen in 3 decades.
But the Jazz were determined to write their own chapter in history and not allow a coronation at their expense.
Malone from Stockton.
Chicago starting slowly, and Utah is taking advantage of that.
Here they come. Utah in a hurry. The Bulls kind of stood around.
Hornacek.
Well, yes.
Look out, Chicago. It's not going to be easy wrapping it up tonight. The Bulls have not answered the challenge. Beautiful ball movement. And Karl Malone shoots a leg.
But Jordan refused to let the frustrated Bulls lose their poise. Midway through the second quarter, with Chicago trailing by 10, he would begin to lead them back.
Now Jordan trying to go to work on Russell, and he does.
Bulls seem to have a little more energy right now, starting to find a little bit of rhythm on the defensive end.
Foster firing and missed it badly, and the rebound, Brian Williams. Whipped ahead to Pippen, he'll dunk the ball.
Great look up the court by Brian Williams.
United Center is rocking. The Bulls making a run.
Back to Michael. MJ hangs, fires, scores!
Yeah, bring it! Tough shot.
The Jazz, however, were answering every Chicago run with one of their own.
Utah tenacious, not giving up that lead.
Stockton with the beautiful ball to beat.
Biggest lead of Game 6. It's a 10-point advantage for the Utah Jazz.
In the waning moments of the third quarter, Utah still refused to relinquish its lead, and with the game slipping away, there was little doubt what was going through the minds of the Bulls and their leader.
From day one, you want to end up playing in June and winning a championship, and it's a lot of bumps in the road. So we understand what it takes to get to this level. By no means do we want to give this up to win championships. This is a dream. Now, the dream is to sustain this as long as you're still playing the game of basketball.
And with Jordan setting the tone, the Bulls would show the resolve of champions.
The rebound back tapped out of there, and Bushler has it. Judd for 3.
Bushler has to fire it.
What a great shot by Judd Bushler.
Scotty on the run. Pippen against Malone. Scotty for 3. Kaboom! Yes! Pippen agrees.
Utah needs a timeout. The Bulls are within 2.
The crowd back into the game, on their feet throughout.
And to Bushler. Corner. Kerr for 3.
Yes! Chicago leads it on Stevie Kerr's 3.
The Chicago Bulls have taken the lead for the first time with 10 unanswered points.
But Utah would not fold. And just as they had done throughout the finals, the Jazz would once again push Chicago to the limit.
Saves it, Anderson. Here comes 3 from Russell. Oh, yes!
An enormous shot by Brian Russell. He's tied the game at 86.
The Bulls have it with 28 seconds left.
In the final seconds, with the score tied and the game on the line, this classic series would hinge on one dramatic play.
He comes off. I'll be ready.
Crowd on their feet here at the United Center.
It'll be a scoop if anybody but Michael Jordan takes this shot.
It is Michael Jordan time. Scottie Pippen looking for Michael Jordan.
Michael, 6 seconds, 5.
Michael in traffic to Kerr. 15-footer. Burying the jumper. Second remaining in the fourth quarter. Russell to inbound. Looking. Skipped across. Pippen to steal. Got it. Saves it to Tony. He runs the second. Yeah! The Bulls win. Have won their fifth championship in the last 7 years. They do it. The drive for 5.
Pandemonium reigns in the United Center.
Tonight, Steve Kerr earned his wings, from my perspective, because I had faith in him and he believed in himself, and I passed him the ball and he knocked the shot down.
An extraordinary effort. Congratulations, Chicago. Congratulations, Chicago Bulls. Congratulations, these spectacular players.
A lot of people have been asking me about the shot the other night, and there have been some misconceptions about what actually happened. I wanted to clear it up. When we called timeout with 25 seconds to go, we went into the huddle, and Phil told Michael, he said, Michael, I want you to take the last shot. And Michael said, Phil, I don't feel real comfortable in these situations, so maybe we ought to go in another direction. And then Scotty came in and said, Phil, Michael said in his commercial that, he's been asked to do this 26 times and he's failed. So why don't we go to Steve? So I thought to myself, well, I guess I got to bail Michael out again.
Oh, beautiful.
But I've been carrying him all year, so, what's one more time?
Hopefully, come 1998, you guys can go out and celebrate and go back to every city and say we won number 6. Hopefully number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10.